Order. Order. Question number 2, Mahesh Bindra.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Corrections and asks, was there a victim notification register alert generated for Philip Smith at any stage prior to his temporary release from custody in November 2014? If not, why not?
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
On behalf of the Minister of Corrections, yes, I'm advised that on every occasion that Philip Smith was temporarily released from prison, his registered victims were informed in accordance with Section 51A1 of the Victims' Rights Act 2002. In respect of the November release, victims were notified on 20 October 2014.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Mahesh Bindra.
Why were Smith's victims not informed of his release prior to 6th of November, as they should have been, since in the Minister's own words, Philip Smith is subject to the victim notification register and his victims are recorded on it?
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
On behalf of the Minister of Corrections, I refer the member to my primary answer, and that is they were indeed notified prior to his release, and indeed to immediately following advice that he had not returned to Spring Hill Prison in the time required.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Mahesh Bindra.
Can he give an assurance to this House that convicted murderer and paedophile Philip John Smith is currently on the victim notification register?
Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Corrections, it's hard for me to give it a 100% guarantee, but I am assured that the victims notification register has not changed since his return to prison, and therefore the answer would be yes.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Mahesh Bindra.
Is it not a fact that this murderer and paedophile was not on the victim notification register? This is the real reason why his victims were not notified, and that the Minister and his department covered this up by putting him on it retrospectively.
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Corrections, it may be that we are talking about direct notification versus other forms of notification. I'm advised that a registered victim can appoint another person to receive on their behalf any notice that is given to the victim. This person is referred to as an appointed representative. The representative is required to make all reasonable efforts to receive on the victim's behalf and ensure that the victim is given and understands the information that has been received. There are 4 victims registered for Philip Smith. 2 of the registered victims have authorised for another of the registered victims to be their appointed representative and have done so since the time of their registration.
Question number 3, Grant Robertson.